tea is hot, the scones are fresh, and the dead are just passing through. Okay, I really want to reread this already. Perhaps you are so happy you accidentally threw a chair at your friend Marcus. This is Jen, ASMR. Subscribe before you fall asleep. Hi there, my lovely, lovely sleepy squirrels. I hope that you're all well. In this video, I will be just showing you a book that I just bought. So not really an unboxing because it's not packaged anymore, but I'm just going to show you this book that I got. And I grabbed 2 other ones from the same author just to kind of tap and scratch and chat about the author in general and why I like them. So yeah, this one just came out. And it is by T.J. Klune. T.J. Klune. It's called Somewhere Beyond the Sea. A magical house with a secret past. And it is New York Times best-selling author of The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is the first of this series. This is number 2. And I have been waiting and being like, come on, for this book. Because I loved the first one, like loved it. Like more than I had loved a book in a while. It was just like the most heartwarming story and just so cozy and nice. I feel like I should actually be starting this video with the other books since this is the second one. This is the new one, so. Okay, let me just spend a little minute just tracing. Tapping, tracing on this cover. And maybe I'll read the blurb of the first one before this one, just so it's coherent. Little school bus. You can see it's here as well on the cover of the first one. That's the cover of the first one too. The house and the little bus and the trees. And here we have them again. How many of you have been waiting for this to come out? I know a few of my patrons have. It was thanks to my patrons in general that I got into T.J. Klune. I don't remember who recommended, but I know a few of them really liked them. So. Let me grab the first one so that we can read the blurbs in order. It would pain me to read them out of order. We have the first one here, and they're not the same size, but it's fine. I'm okay with that. I have actually been buying most of my books to read on my Kindle, so just like in Kindle format, like PDF. But I just had to get this one in real physical form just to go with the other ones. So the house, look at the O's are the same. The house and the Cerulean Sea. This is the little house. And this is the little bus. And these are the trees. It's way out. It's never too late to follow the dream. Simply perfect, said V. Schwab. I bought some V. Schwab books as well, because I was like, wow, if you like this book. And there are like crime kind of books as well, and I was like, yes, please. I haven't read any yet, so I can't say if I would recommend, but these ones I would definitely recommend, can you tell? Okay, so The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I feel like I've already read the blurb and everything about this book, but I think it must have been in a Patreon video, so hopefully it's fine. Let me just turn it so I can read. But I'll turn the screen too so you can see too. Okay, so he expected nothing, but they gave him everything. Oh. Linus Baker leads a quiet life. At 40, he has a tiny house with a devious cat and his beloved records for company. And at the department in charge of magical youth, yes, it's a magical story, he spent many dull years monitoring their orphanages. Then one day, Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a highly classified assignment. He must travel to an orphanage where 6 dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. He's so cute. There, Linus must somehow determine if they could bring on the end of days. But their guardian, charming and enigmatic Arthur Parnassus, will do anything to protect his wards. As Arthur and Linus grow ever closer, Linus must choose between duty and his dreams. A modern fairy tale, says, beautiful, says Charlene Harris. I loved it. Like being wrapped up in a big gay blanket, said V. Schwab. Yeah. Likely to cause heart swelling, Washington Post. I agree with all of these. It was so good. I kinda want to read it again before I read the second one, but I don't think I'm patient enough. I think I will quickly be like, okay, I remember. Okay, let's go. I want to know what happens next. Shall we read a touch about the author? I wonder if I'll read it in this the other one in case anything has changed. So there are spoilers for the first one on the back of the second one. So if you have not read the first one and you don't want spoilers, skip ahead. There'll be timestamps. One magical family, 2 dedicated guardians, and 6 dangerously gifted children. Arthur Parnassus has built a good life on the ashes of a bad one. Ashes. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He's the headmaster of an orphanage for magical children on a peculiar island, assisted by the love of his life, Linus Baker. And together they'll do anything to protect their extraordinary and powerful charges, the children. However, when Arthur is forced to make a public statement about his dark past, he finds himself fighting for those under his care. It's also a fight for the better future of all magical people. It's also a fight for the better future that all magical people deserve. When a new child joins them, one who calls himself a monster, Arthur knows they've reached breaking point. Challenged from within and without, their volatile family might grow stronger, and everything Arthur loves could fall apart. Oh no. I think it's going to be heartwarming though, still. Maybe like a little heart-wrenching by the sounds of it, but heartwarming too. This is the charming and life-affirming sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea, a New York Times bestseller. Praise for T.J. Klune, like being wrapped up in a big gay blanket. Simply perfect visual. A beautiful book. Charlene Harris, so full of heart and hope. Jennifer L. Armentrout. Nice name. Okay, let's have a little look if we can find a little blurb. Here we go. About the author. I feel like there was a photo in the other one. T.J. Klune is the New York Times and USA Today best-selling Lambda Literary Award-winning author of The House in the Cerulean Sea, Under the Whispering Door, I have it right here, and In the Lives of Puppets. I got it on my Kindle. The Green Creek series for adults. Don't know that. The Extraordinaries series for teens and more. I don't know that either. Like series, like TV series or like book series? I would think book series. Being queer himself, Klune believes it's important, now more than ever, to have accurate, positive queer representation in stories. I could not agree more, especially with the accurate and positive representation. I would say that these books have accurate and positive representation. Oh, I can't wait to read this. I'm so invested in their love and their family and just like everyone in this series. I love them all. This is like a book you could hug and like it makes sense to hug the book. Lost reading. In the Life of Puppets. Is that what it's called? I always think it's like the Forest of Puppets or the Life of Puppets. I can't remember. In the Lives of Puppets, yeah. So In the Lives of Puppets is a good book. Like the story is very interesting. It's just not as touching for me. Like I didn't feel the same like warmth from the story, but at the same time I don't think you're supposed to. Like there's a lot of like robotic and AI and stuff like that in the Lives of Puppets, hence puppets. But yeah, I don't know, like, there was a book where I read, the series that we're reading. Well, we read the first one for book club, and then, like, I've been reading the next ones. And the AI, they're like sentient AI, and the way that they're written is like so warm, you know, like very like that really like, what do I say? Like the emphasis is on the sentient part, you know. But yeah, it's really good. I can't wait to read this one. I've already read the book for book club this month, so I can actually start this tonight. I downloaded the little excerpt. I think it was like the first chapter or something. I downloaded it for my Kindle before this was out, but I'd already pre-ordered this, so I just was like, okay, I'll just wait for the book to come. I didn't read it. Okay, let me grab the other TJ Klune book that I have. And it is Under the Whispering Door. And this is also amazing. This is probably my second favorite. First one is The House of the Cerulean Sea, and then this is my second favorite. And then I don't know about this one. Maybe it will be. I don't know. It's got the same, like, the same font, and the fact that it's embossed, and then obviously the same artist on the cover. I really like it. Simply Perfect, said V. Schwab. But he's talking about the other book, not this one. But this is Simply Perfect. So his death was their beginning. This one is such a good story too, like world building excellence. From master storyteller TJ Klune comes a life and death love story. A man who lives to help the dead meets a man who died, then learned how to live. And it's so accurate. Like, that sounds very like, oh, I made this sound like it's very poetic, but it like really is so accurate about the book. Oh, I feel like his photo's on the other side then. Is it? Yeah, there he is. TJ Klune, thank you for your books. Thank you. And it's the same blurb as the other one. Okay. Welcome to Charon's Crossing. I definitely have already read this in a video, but I feel like it might have been a Patreon video. I'm sure you guys don't mind for the relaxation. The tea is hot, the scones are fresh, and the dead are just passing through. Okay, I really want to reread this already. I only read it last year. When a reaper comes to collect Wallace from his own sparsely attended funeral, Wallace is outraged, but he begins to suspect she's right, and he is in fact dead. Then, when Hugo, owner of the most peculiar tea shop, promises to help him cross over, Wallace reluctantly accepts the truth. I love Hugo. Yet even in death, he refuses to abandon his life, even though he spent all of it working. But as Wallace drinks tea with Hugo and talks to his customers, he wonders if he'd been missing something. The feeling grows as he shares jokes with the resident ghost, manifests embarrassing footwear, and notices the stars. So when he's given 1 week to pass through the door to the other side, Wallace sets about living a lifetime in just 7 days. Oh. It's so good. So good. I would recommend reading definitely these 2 books, and I'm sure if you read this one you won't be able to help yourself. You'll have to read the next one. I'm just gonna mess around with the books now. I don't know if I'll read anymore. I might just, mess around with the book. Let me know in the comments what you're reading at the moment. Either what you're reading, like this month kind of thing, or listening to, because not all books need to be read. Some you can listen to, and that's fine. Everybody's different. Or let me know what you think of these books, of course. I get a lot of book recommendations from my Patreon girlies. I keep saying like Patreon girlies, but like everybody in the book club is a girl. Like none of the guy patrons have ventured into the book club for now. So until then, they are book club girlies. But yeah, I get all of my recommendations from you guys, which is great because I find it really difficult to choose. I'm the kind of person that would pick by the cover in a bookshop, which sometimes works out. So. I tend to just read as well the book that wasn't chosen for the poll. Like every time we choose a new book for book club, it's a choice between 2 books that people have suggested, and I usually read the other one as well. I'm not the best person to read out loud. I find it very confusing to read out loud. Like, even when I'm reading stories to my son, like, okay, Gruffalo, these kind of books, all in English, that's fine. But books in French, even kids' books, sometimes are quite difficult for me to read out loud. And then, so at the moment, we have reduced. Wait, let me start this again. Sorry, I'm rambling about book stuff, but my son is 6. He just started primary 1, which in France is called CP. So like in the elementary school, I guess you would call it. And we used to read 3 books every night, and then we would do 2 Gaston et Suzanne, which is like a little story machine, if you like. Like you choose whether it's like an ogre or a witch. You choose like if it's at the seaside or in the forest, you know. And then it has like recorded stories. And he's kind of got sick of that now. But the books, not so much. He will ask for more stories like all kids. And we have reduced it to one book per night, and then we stay in his room for a little while, but we read our own books. So he can spend that time either just like getting down to sleep, or he can look at like one of his easier books and try and read it, or just look at the pictures, or you know, whatever he wants to do. And there was one evening he was like, "It's too quiet, Mommy, can you read your own book? Like, read to me, but like, you can just read your own book, even if it's in English. I don't mind." And I realized, like, reading my book aloud, that I was more focused on reading well, like being able to read out loud, and it just didn't go in my head. Like, I didn't take in the information afterwards. And after a few minutes, I was like getting confused. Like, you've seen me read things on this channel, like there are so many cuts in it because it just comes out completely weird sometimes. And I do a series on Patreon where I was reading chapter by chapter of a Bill Bryson book, and I feel just like, oh no. I think I've done like the first 5 and I'm like, how am I gonna do the rest of this? I just stopped. I was like, it's too much. Like, there's so many cuts. I mean, none of the Patreons complained. Nobody was like, this isn't relaxing because you can't read well, but maybe I just better at editing than I thought, so nobody noticed. But yeah. I really do want to continue with that, because it's a cool little series to do. Like, I get, like, they could be cool, like 1 chapter every month, but I just couldn't keep up. And I feel like after a while, like, nobody's gonna be interested in chapter 6 if I did chapter 5 like 6 months ago. Everybody would be like, oh yeah, that thing. I just gotta do it. I tell myself it's fine. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. It's for relaxation. Under the whispering door. Oh, that sounds good. I have so many other books to make videos with as well. I wish I could just do this every morning. It's the morning right now. Kids are just off to school. And I've already done some errands this morning, so I'm pretty happy. I went to the doctor's. I went to pop a package at Mondial Relais because I sold something on eBay. Yay! It was a little, well, quite big pottery ladybird. It's pretty cute. And it was a surprise too, because I haven't really done any eBay stuff in a while, so I just kind of... And then I popped to the post office to check my P.O. box. Nothing today. Oh, but I do have 3 P.O. box things. One, I know who it's from. It's from Cynthia, one of my patrons, so I know what that is. One is a letter from one of you guys, and one is a little package from one of you guys. And I think the person that sent one of those commented asking if I'd received it. I have received it, thank you. I'll then try and remember to reply to that comment. And I'm going to save the 3 of the packages, all 3 of the pieces of mail, to do a subscriber mail unboxing, because I think that would be really sweet. To do like 1 letter, 1 package, and 1 like Amazon package. So that was cool. What was that saying? Why did I start drinking? Oh yeah, this morning. And then I went to the pharmacy, and then I came home, and then I started filming like 30 minutes later. The house is quiet, and nobody is doing any DIY or work on the houses across the way. There's some work going on in a kebab place at the corner of the street. They like literally ripped out everything. Everything. The walls, everything. The floors. I mean, we've been at this place for, how long have we been here for? It was when I was pregnant with my son, so like almost 7 years. We've been here for almost 7 years, and that place did look a bit old. We've been here for 7. I think he's been here for like 50. Okay, maybe not quite, but I think redoing that place was probably a very good idea. We've eaten there like 1 or 2 times, but you know, it's a kebab place, you don't, you know. I mean, do what you like, but you know what I mean. I did not expect to be talking about kebabs in this video. I am a good rambler, I guess. A ginger books. They have such different sounds, don't they? The difference between a hardback book and pocketbook. We don't call it pocketbook. What do you call this? Livre de poche is like a smaller one, like in French. This one is a relié, and the other one is brochet. So brochet is like the hardcover. And what do we call this? We don't call it soft cover. Paperback. There we go. It's so weird when you're thinking of like in 2 different languages. Sometimes you try and translate it. It doesn't work. You gotta find the words from somewhere. Paperbacks have a totally different sound. Even like the size difference between this one and that one creates different sounds too. Cool. I got 5 or 6 books last time I went to AMIENS in Beauvais. Beauvais is like next to Paris. There's an airport there that I used to use to go to Scotland. It no longer goes to Scotland, but sometimes we still go to Beauvais. It was a cool day. It was for my birthday. I think I've talked about this on Patreon. What did I do for my birthday? What did I get for my birthday video? And we went to 2 different places in the same day. In the same afternoon, actually. Myself, my partner, and the 2 kids, and everybody was happy. So that was like bunch of books. I got a few things to sell on eBay when I get around to it. I really, really, really want to make a go of that. I feel like it would be a good way to supplement this channel, and like I want everything to just like work, and I just want to make this my full-time job, and I just think that I need to just add something. I need to add things rather than just trying to make my channel bigger, because I'm not really very good at like selling myself, if you will, like selling my channel or like following trends, or you know, I'm not like looking at algorithms and all this kind of stuff. I just make what I like and what you guys like and see when I can. So yeah, I think an eBay store would be good, and I can link it all into ASMR with the shop with me videos that some of you guys like on my other channel. I changed it to Jen ASMR Thrifts if you're looking for it. And then, oh, maybe an Etsy, guys. How fun would that be? I'm thinking merch, but like not my logo on a coffee mug, or you know, a t-shirt from I don't know what website or something. I'm thinking like handmade merch, like a little sleepy squirrel crochet key rings, or I don't know, like something fun. And the artist that drew the sleepy squirrel also does stickers and things like that, so I'll maybe talk to her about that. Yeah, I have a bunch of ideas. Obviously, if I'm like hand making something, they will be pretty limited edition. That's a nice way of saying like in small quantities, because I'm just one person. We'll call them limited edition drops or something. All that came out of me starting to do crochet, and I made that sleepy squirrel crochet bag. I don't know if you've seen that video, but I'm very proud of it. It's very cool. But I need to find a balance between making this my full-time job and burnout. Like I need to be in the middle. I can't do everything, but I also want to do everything, which is unfortunate because I have to stop myself from doing everything while simultaneously trying to motivate myself to do some things. It's a balancing act. Okay, I'm just like randomly talking about my life right now. Let's go back to books. This isn't a Patreon video. I'm treating this like a Patreon video. Okay, so back to the books. This phoenix. I love phoenixes. It's such a beautiful, like, idea of like just burning up and being born again, you know. Kind of reminds me of Groot. You know, when Groot protects everyone and then gets like blown to bits basically, and then they make a new little baby Groot. Very Phoenix-like. And then there was that time where Groot was a teenager in the Christmas special thing. It's so weird. Teenage Groot just seems strange, but I guess it has to happen so you can be Groot again in one of the films. I wonder if they would make this into a film or maybe a series. I think they'll probably go more Netflix series than a film. I would watch that. Would have to be like a Netflix thing. But it might be very like pretty, you know, like an American series that is very pretty. I would like it to be done in a more British way, like a more gritty 6-part series way rather than 24 episodes and everyone's wearing perfect makeup and all these special effects. I know it's easier and most people like it, but you know. But this would make an amazing series. Well, I know the first one would make a perfect first season. We'll see about this one. But I can't imagine it would be perfect also. Just grab the other books again all together. A slightly different configuration there. Some different sounds. Spine tapping is quite a good sound. A favorite of some. Maybe I should read like the first few pages of this one to make you guys want to read this even more, so more people can feel the joy and heart of this book. Yeah, maybe. After all me saying like I can't read very well, but I think like I feel it right now. And maybe just like a few pages won't like muddle my head too much, you know. Plus I've already read it. For those who have been with me since the beginning, look at what we've made. Thank you. Isn't that sweet? Oh dear, Linus Baker said, wiping the sweat from his brow. This is most unusual. That was an understatement. He watched in rapt wonder as an 11-year-old girl named Daisy levitated blocks of wood high above her head. The blocks spun in slow, concentric circles. Daisy frowned in concentration. The tip of her tongue stuck out between her teeth. It went on for a good minute before the blocks slowly lowered to the floor. Her level of control was astounding. I see, Linus said, furiously scribbling on his pad of paper. They were in the master's office, a tidy room with government-issued brown carpets and old furniture. The walls were lined with terrible paintings of lemurs various poses. The master had showed them off proudly, telling Lina's painting was her passion, and that if she hadn't become the master of this specific orphanage, she'd be traveling with a circus as a lemur trainer, or even have opened up a gallery to share her artwork with the world. Linus believed the world was better off with the paintings staying in this room, but he kept that to himself. He wasn't there to engage in amateur art criticism. And how often do you, make things afloat? The master of the orphanage, a squat woman with frizzy hair, stepped forward. "Oh, not often at all," she said quickly. She wrung her hands, eyes darting back and forth. "Perhaps once or twice a year." Linus coughed. "A month," the woman amended. "Silly me. I don't know why I said a year. Slip of the tongue. Yes, once or twice a month. You know how it is. The older the children get, the more they do things. Is that right?" Linus asked Daisy. "Oh yes, once or twice a month, and no more." She smiled beatifically. What does that mean? I thought it was beautifully. Beatifically at him. I'm so used to the Kindle now. If there's a word I don't know, I just hold my finger on it and the dictionary comes up. So practical. Beatifically. And Linus wondered if she'd been coached on her answers before his arrival. It wouldn't be the first time that happened, and he doubted it'd be the last. Of course, Linus said. They waited as his pen continued to scratch along the paper. He could feel their gazes on him, but he kept his focus on his words. Accuracy demanded attention. He was nothing but thorough, and his visit to this particular orphanage had been enlightening, to say the least. He needed to jot down as many details as he could to complete his final report once he returned to the office. The master fussed over Daisy, pulling her unruly black hair back, fixing it in place with plastic butterfly clips. Daisy was staring forlornly at her blocks on the floor, as if she wished they were levitating once more, her bushy eyebrows twitching. "Do you have control over it?" Linus asked. Before Daisy could open her mouth, the master said, "Of course she does. We'd never allow her to." Linus held up his hand. "I would appreciate, madam, if I could hear from Daisy herself. While I have no doubt you have her best interests in mind, I find that children such as Daisy here tend to be more forthright." The master looked to speak again until Linus arched an eyebrow. She sighed as she nodded, taking a step back from Daisy. After scribbling a final note, Linus capped his pen and set it, and the ink and the pad of paper back in his briefcase. He stood from his chair and crouched down before Daisy, knees groaning in protest. Daisy gnawed on her bottom lip, eyes wide. "Daisy, do you have control over it?" She nodded slowly. "I think so. I haven't hurt anyone since I was brought here." Her mouth twisted down. "Not until Marcus. I don't like hurting people." He could almost believe that. No one said you did, but sometimes we can't always control the gifts we're given, and it's not necessarily the fault of those with said gifts. That didn't seem to make her feel better. Then whose fault is it? Linus blinked. Well, I suppose there are all sorts of factors. Modern research suggests extreme emotional states can trigger instances such as yours. Sadness, anger, even happiness. Perhaps you were so happy you accidentally threw a chair at your friend Marcus. It was the reason he'd been sent here in the first place. Marcus had been seen in hospital, in order to have his tail looked after. It had been bent at an odd angle for Marcus, and the hospital had reported it directly to the department in charge of magical youth, as they were required to do. The report triggered an investigation, which is why Linus had been assigned to this particular orphanage. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you all want to go and read this now. Okay, so I hope that you all enjoyed this video and found it relaxing and interesting to hear about these books, this author, and my ramblings. Maybe a little less. If you would like this to become my full-time job, just making relaxing videos for you guys every week, please pop over to Patreon, and for €3 per month you can join our little club. And if that's not your thing, or you can't spare the money, or you just don't want to, that's all fine too. Just watching the videos is support enough. If you made it to this point in the video, I would like you to pop a little red bus, a little house, and a bird. So, bus, house, bird, in whatever order you want. The house and the bus and the bird. I don't think you could find a phoenix, but I'm sure there's a little red bus and a little house. And you can just pop that in with your regular comment, letting me know what you're reading at the moment. Or if you are far too sleepy, you can just pop those 3 emojis, or even just one of them if you're even more tired. You can just pop that in by itself. I'll know what you mean. I will see your support. I see you. I see you. I'm terrible at replying to comments, but I see you. So, I hope that every single one of my lovely, lovely sleepy squirrels are well. Wherever you are in the world, whatever's happening around you, I hope that you can find your own little bubble of calm. For example, if you are in Boston, Massachusetts, in the USA, like my lovely, lovely patron, Lindsey. Hey, Lindsey. I hope you're well. Thank you for all of your lovely, lovely support. It's very much appreciated. And I hope that you all have a lovely, lovely